right, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Hank Hackerson at Hank Hacks Hackers, and today we're going to be going through the next room in our pathway for SOC analyst, so Security Operations Center Level 1, and this is for the SOC analyst training. So if you want to be a cybersecurity analyst and you want to learn defensive security, which is the blue team, and most companies, just to let you know, want somebody that fills this role. There aren't very many companies that will do penetration testers and offensive security. And even if they want you to do that, they still want you to have a really full understanding of defensive security as well. They go hand in hand. It's unlikely that you're going to be a good penetration tester if you don't understand what defensive security's job is. So far, we've done the Pyramid of Pain, Cybersecurity, Cyber Kill Chain, Unified Kill Chain, Diamond Model, and these are all different frameworks. And the last one that we're going to cover as far as frameworks are concerned is the MITRE ATT&CK Framework, which is a really big one. The MITRE Corporation is kind of one of the foremost renowned organizations that has done this. So it's a big deal to understand this. So make sure that you get yourself a membership to tryhackme. This is one of the free rooms, as it says right here, so you can get a lot of information just from their free rooms that are available at tryhackme. And then when you're ready to upgrade, you can get the paid membership, and it's only $12. And if you use the link in the description below, you'll get a discount on top of that, so you'll get an extra $5 off. So you'll get it for $7, and you can get all the paid rooms, which allow you to use virtual machines and hack into the virtual machines, and this thing right here called the attack box, which is super freaking awesome. So yeah, that's all available for you through tryhackme, which in my opinion is one of the greatest places to learn cybersecurity and hacking. So make sure you like, subscribe, share, follow, turn on the notification bell, all that good stuff, and leave any comments below or questions or anything that you have. I will clarify them for you, or if you just want to leave a compliment, I'm more than willing to take compliments as well, and I appreciate all of the love. So let's go. Let's jump into the introduction to MITRE. So for anybody that's new to cybersecurity, you probably never heard of MITRE. Those of us that have been around might only associate MITRE with CVE, so the Common Vulnerabilities and Exposures List. And this is a really big one as well. So this is their website for cve.mitre.org. And you can find common vulnerabilities according to anything in here. You could literally just search for common vulnerabilities in here, and it'll list a bunch of different ones. Or you search for a type of operating system, and it'll show you what vulnerabilities are attached to that operating system. And then you can use that to go find exploits. So if you use Metasploit, you search for the number of the common vulnerability, and it'll give you all the exploits that are available to use that. It's pretty crazy. So they all go hand in hand. And if you understand how to use it, then you will become a better hacker. So the CVE list is the one resource you'll probably check when searching for an exploit, as we already talked about. But MITRE researches in many areas outside of cybersecurity for safety, stability, and well-being of our nation. These areas include AI, health information, space security. That's pretty cool. Just to name a few. So from their website, it says, at MITRE, we solve problems for a safer world. Through our federally funded R&D, so research and development centers, and public-private partnerships, we work across government to tackle challenges to the safety, stability, and well-being of our nation. Sounds very noble. So in this room, we're going to focus on these things: the adversarial tactics and common knowledge framework, so ATT&CK, MITRE ATT&CK. Then there is the CAR, so Cyber Analytics Repository Knowledge Base. Engage, it's not an acronym for anything. DEFEND, Detection, Denial, Distribution Framework, Empowering Network Defense. And then AEP, which is Attack Emulation Plan. So let's dive in. Let's do it. Excited about this. All right, so basic terminology. This is what you kind of need to get in mind. APT is for Advanced Persistent Threat. You're going to run across this a lot, and this can be considered either a team or a group or an individual, but it's usually a group or a team or an organization or even a country that engages in long-term attacks against organizations or countries or people. And advanced means or it can be misleading, as it will tend us to think that each APT group all have some super weapon, which is a 0-day exploit, which basically means that this has never been detected before. 0-day means it's never been seen or detected before, and it doesn't exist on the CVE database because it was just created or something like that. But that's not the case. As you'll see, a lot of these people just recycle the common exploits or vulnerabilities or reuse each other's code or malware. So you can kind of be the person that, as long as you use the tools that are available to detect all of those things, right? And so FireEye has a list of APT groups of the organizations that have been caught for advanced persistent threats, or at the very least detected for advanced persistent threats. So APT39, it could be in Iran. That's where they're suspected to be at. APT35 is US, Western Europe, Middle Eastern military. APT34 is, again, Iran. Holy shit, Iran has so many of them, you guys. This is crazy. And just to give you a hint of where I'm from Iran. That's why this is like so gnarly to me, that it's been so far. Let's see how many we can find that are Iran. So the first one is Iran. This is US, Western Europe is APT35. APT34 is Iran. APT33 is Iran. China is APT41. 40 is China. 31 is China. 30 is China. 27 is China. 26 is China. Okay, so China seems to be beating Iran. APT24 is aka Pity Tiger. They're also in China. Okay, China seems to beat the... Oh, you know what? Here's an easy way to search for it. So we could do Control F for find. And so there's 8 mentions of Iran. And there's another one right here. So 2, 3... Okay, let's see how many there are. China. 41 mentions of China. Holy fuck. Okay, so China beat us in the advanced persistent threat game. So there you go. And that's what their list is. TTP is for tactics, techniques, and procedures. So there's APT for advanced persistent threat, and then TTP is for tactics, techniques, and procedures, which means the tactic is the adversary's goal or objective. The technique is what they actually do, what they actually use, the tools that they use maybe. And the procedure is how it's executed, right? So the tactic is the overall tactic. The technique is what they do to achieve the goal or objective. And the procedure is how they do it, right? Let's go into the framework of attack. So according to the website, MITRE ATT&CK is a globally accessible knowledge base of adversary tactics and techniques based on real-world observations. In 2013, MITRE began to address the need to record and document common TTPs that APT groups used against enterprise window networks. This started with an internal project known as Fort Meade Experiment, and in that project, security professionals were tasked to emulate the TTPs of the adversary against the network, and data was collected from the attacks so that they could research it and study it. Now, and that's known as the ATT&CK Framework. And it's grown and expanded throughout the years. One notable expansion was that the framework was focused solely on Windows, but it has expanded to other platforms such as Mac OS, which is Unix, and then Linux. The framework is heavily contributed by many resources such as security researchers, threat intelligence reports, and it's not just a tool for blue teamers. This is also used for red teamers, offensive security. We already talked about this. So if you have not done so, you got to go and check it out. So this is the ATT&CK website, and we covered this in a different video as well. Actually, we kind of briefly went over this, but these are all the different categories that you can use to attack. So recon, resource development, initial access, execution, and it just goes down the line, right? Exfiltration, impact, all these things. So this is very, very useful tools. And if you're going to be in this industry in the long term, you got to learn all these things. You just got to know, at least you got to know how to get there or what their names are so that you can reference them later. You don't have to memorize them or anything, but you got to know what's up. So direct your attention to the bottom of the page to view the matrix for enterprise And across the top of the matrix, there are 14 categories that we saw. Each category contains techniques as an adversary could use to perform the tactic. We might need to refer to this again, so I'm just going to reopen it. And the categories cover the 7-stage cyber attack lifecycle, which we already talked about, the cyber kill chain probably. Yeah, so it's the cyber kill chain is the actual technical term for it. It's not cyber attack lifecycle for, oh, right here, boom. And so under initial access, there are 9 techniques. Some of the techniques have sub-techniques such as phishing. So phishing, whatever, if there's a number next to it, that means there's subcategories and sub-techniques under it. And if we click on it, it opens the rest of the things, right? So to get a better understanding, associated on a click on phishing, we'll probably be answering some questions about phishing. Then all the related information, such as procedures, examples, and mitigations. If you click on one, it'll show you the details of that. And then you can alternatively search for the stuff. Instead of going through the menu and browsing the menu, you can search for the attack type, just like searching for phishing. And then the same data can be viewed with the navigator, which is this whole thing right here. The attack navigator is designed to provide basic navigation and an annotation of the matrices, something that people are already doing today in tools like Excel. We've designed it to be simple and generic. You can use the navigator to visualize your defense coverage, so on and so forth. So let's see where the navigator is. Is it up here? Where is the navigator? Okay, here we go. I see. So, got you. So it's if you search for a specific group, then there's the navigation layer button right here that you can get access to. I clicked around a lot and barely could find it. Okay, and once we are here, so it told us to search for Carbonac, and we would be able to view the attack vector. So let's see if I do this, what shows. Oh, cool. I see. This is the attack vector that they used for Carbonac. This is interesting. I wonder if we can get this, if we do here, view. Okay, so same thing. That's how it shows it. Okay, got it. So this is the navigator for their attack vector. So whatever they did, right? So if we do Chimera, which is a Chinese group, and we go look at their attack vector, this is what they did, right? So this is interesting, honestly. I actually find this very interesting. This is how you see how they got in, and then what they did once they were in, and if they exfiltrated, what they ended up doing at the very end. And this is gnarly. This is pretty legit. That's awesome. Leave the site. Leave the site. Okay. At the top left, there are 3 sets of controls: selection controls, layer controls, and technique controls, which is these things right here that we saw at the top. I encourage you to inspect each one of these options under control to get familiar with them. Hopefully there's going to be some questions to help us kind of get some answers. So the questions below will help you become more familiar with the attack. It is recommended to start answering the questions from the phishing page. Note that this link is for version 8 of the attack matrix. Okay, so let's go to the phishing page. This is the phishing page, and we'll keep the group page open for now. All right, so besides blue teamers, who else will use red teamers? Okay, and what is the ID for this technique? For what, phishing? So what's the ID for the phishing technique? ID is right here. Copy, and we're going to paste that in here. And that is the ID. So based on this technique, what mitigation covers identifying social engineering techniques? So what mitigation covers identifying social engineering techniques? So let's see. Is there anything for mitigation on the side right here? So probably not. So let's see. Mitigation for social engineering. Social engineering, user training. Okay, there's that. What are the data sources for detection? Format would be source 1, source 2, source 3 with no spaces after the commas. So What are the data sources for detection? And so mitigation procedure, detection, data sources is this application log, file, and network traffic. So we're going to go like this: application log, file, network, work, traffic. What groups have used spear phishing in their campaigns? So format would be group 1 and group 2. So let's see. Okay, I think it's Axiom and Gold Southfield, the way that this looks. So if we do Axiom, Gold, Southfield, would that work? That does work, okay. Based on the information for the first group, what are their associated groups? So the first group would be Axiom. What are their associated groups? It's group 72, I'm guessing. Group 72. What software is associated with this group that lists phishing as a technique? Oh, got it. So we are in the wrong section. I was in the techniques used, and I need to be in the software used. And so I'm gonna search for phishing, and I'm going to try to find it in the software list, which is right here, and it would be HiKit. HiKit. All right, so what is the description for this software? Okay, so click on HiKit, and let's go to the description. I believe this is the actual description, right? Copy, submit. That's right, cool. This group overlaps slightly with which other group? Right here in the description of Axiom, we'll see that Axiom and the WinT group overlap slightly. So let's see, let's try that. Very good. And how many techniques are attributed to this group? So we have techniques right here. I guess I gotta count them. So let's see. I'm gonna say 15. Okay, so there we go. All right, that was pretty useful actually, learning how to navigate that whole thing. I think it's pretty useful. All right, so moving on to the CAR knowledge base, which is this whole thing. All right, so CAR stands for Cyber Analytics Repository. And according to MITRE, it's a knowledge base of analytics developed by MITRE based on the MITRE ATT&CK adversary model. CAR defines a data model that is leveraged in its pseudocode representations, but also includes implementations directly targeted at specific tools like Splunk or EQL in its analytics. With respect to coverage, CAR is focused on providing a set of validated and well-explained analytics, in particular with regards to the operating theory and rationale. Okay, so what does that even mean, right? We should feel comfortable to understand the information that CAR is providing us, since we kind of learned about the previous section, right? So by reviewing this thing, which we're going to open up, I'm going to close this thing just in case I need them. We can come back to them later. Upon visiting the page, we're given a brief description of the analytics and references to attack technique, sub-technique, and tactic. So at the very top, this is it. This is our description. And these are the attack detections, defend techniques, data model references, implementation, etc. So this is the information in the top. So technique, sub-technique, tactics. We see that right here, like so. We are also provided with pseudocode, which we saw at the bottom of the page, which is right here. And a query on how to search for this specific analytic within Splunk. A pseudocode is a plain human-readable way to describe a set of instructions or algorithms that a program or system will perform. So this is kind of what it looks like for Splunk. The index equals your sys monitor index. Event code is 11. The image is this image. And then you have the target file name, which is that target, or the target file name, which is included in either of those locations. So basically that's it. And this is a filter that you just drop into Splunk, and it should filter for this particular schedule task file access vulnerability, I guess. So note the reference to Sysmon. Sysmon is a system monitor, which is a Windows system service developed by Microsoft that's designed to monitor and log various events happening within system. If you're not familiar with it, you can check out the Sysmon room. I don't remember going through that, so I think I got to go through it, and I will definitely record it for you guys. To take full advantage of CAR, we can view the full analytic list or the CAR attack navigation layer to view all the analytics. And so the full analytic list looks like this. And you have the full analytics view. We can see implementations are available for any given analytic at a single glance, along with what OS platform it applies to. And so here's kind of what it looks like real quick. And we're not gonna read all of this, but you can just pause the screen and read through it, or better yet, actually go to the MITRE website and read through it that way. So let's look at another analytic to see a different implementation, which is remote PowerShell sessions. And so same thing right here. And then this is the pseudocode. And if you wanted to filter it, you can filter it accordingly with whichever thing you're using, whichever SIM you're using. And so this is the EQL native version of the above pseudocode, which shows where subtype process, where the subtype create and the process name equals this. So to summarize, CAR is a great place for finding analytics that takes us further than the mitigation and detection summaries in the attack framework. This too is not a replacement for the attack framework, but an added resource, obviously. So what tactic has an ID of TA0003? So let's see where we can go. I guess I'm just gonna go back to MITRE. We can just Google that, go here, or actually go back here and do the attack framework and then go here and search for it, which is going to be the persistence, right? So what is that? Persistence is probably what we're looking for. And we're gonna submit that, voila. What is the name of the library that is a collection of Zeek bro scripts? I'm actually working on something for this little IDS. So what's the name of the library that is a collection of Zeek bro scripts? So I Googled it and I actually found it, but I wanna use the CAR repository, the cyber analytics repository here to see if we can find, oh, it's actually literally on the home page. So is there a search? There is no search. So on the home page, it is listed at the very bottom and it says libraries. And we have right here, it's called, the only library is Bazaar, a collection of Zeek bro scripts looking primarily at SMB and RPC traffic. So Bazaar as in bazaar. So Bazaar, there you go. What is the name of the technique for running executables with the same hash and different names? So let's see what the hint gives us right here. Check the full analytic list. Okay, fair enough. Where's the full analytic list? Right here. And we're going to just close this one. And so we have the full analytic list. And what are we searching for? We're searching for running executables with the same hash. So I'm going to look for hash. See, right here. Boom, there's only one. So running executables with the same hash and different names. And what do we want? We want the name, or yeah, we want the name. So it's called masquerading. I think I'm gonna misspell that, so I'm gonna copy this and go here and paste it, submit that. That should be it. And so let's examine this particular one. And it says, besides implementations, what additional information is provided to analysts to ensure coverage for this technique? So let's go here and let's find that. So execution with the AT, and let's just look into it. And implementations, you have pseudocode, Splunk, Sysmon. I mean, there's a bunch. So what are we looking for? It's a 2-word response. And what am I gonna say? I would say EQL native might be it. And there's a couple log point native, Sysmon native. So Oh, my bad. So it says besides implementations, what is available? It would be unit tests. That's what it is. There we go. Nice. Moving on. So MITRE Engage. Let's see what this is. Per the website MITRE Engage, we'll open it to a new one. It's a framework for planning and discussing adversary engagement operations that empowers you to engage your adversaries and achieve your cybersecurity goals. It's considered an adversary engagement approach. This is accomplished by the implementation of cyber denial and cyber deception. Ooh. Cyber denial, we prevent the adversary's ability to conduct their operations, and cyber deception is we intentionally plant artifacts to mislead the adversary. Sounds like a honeypot. The Engage website provides a starter kit to get you started with the adversary engagement approach. The starter kit is a collection of white papers and PDFs explaining various checklists, methodologies, and processes to get you started. As with MITRE ATT&CK, Engage has its own matrix. Below is a visual of the Engage matrix. So prepare, expose, affect, elicit, understand, and then we have the different subsections of this with various items within each list. So let's quickly explain. So prepare is the set of operational actions that will lead you to the desired outcome. Expose adversaries when they trigger your deployed deception activities. Affect adversaries by performing actions that will have a negative impact on their operation. Elicit information by observing the adversary and learn more about their modus operandi, which is TTPs basically. This is a fancy word right here. And then understand the outcomes of the operational actions, which is their output. So if you refer to the Engage handbook, which is this PDF document here, which is 48 flipping pages long. But then it's like there's an empty page. So it's like, and then you're also counting the table of contents. So it's not really that long. And then there's also an acknowledgement at the end. I'll just leave this open. We might need to use it. Refer to the handbook to learn more. You can interact with Engage Matrix Explorer, which is this thing. Let's see what this is. Looks very similar to the Attack Explorer. And note that the default matrix focuses on operate, which entails expose and affect and elicit. Okay. And you can click on prepare or understand to focus solely on that part of the matrix. That should be enough an overview. We'll leave it to you to explore the resources provided. Before moving on, let's practice using the resource by answering the questions below. So under prepare, what is ID SAC *002? So under prepare, oh, I see. So we just click on each one and it says it right there. And we're looking for 0002, which is persona creation. That's what that is. So voila. There we go. What is the name of the resource to aid you with the engagement activity from the previous section? All right, so we were told to visit the tools page and go to all tools to see what is here available for us. Maybe it's this persona profile worksheet. That's it. Okay, I see. So the persona creation, you need a profile worksheet. Which engagement activity baits a specific response from the adversary? Looks like it could be a few things right here under effect. It could be a lure, or it could just be the word effect itself. So let's see, let's try effect first. Actually, it's probably not that. It would be lures. Very good. All right, so what is the definition of a threat model? And this is according to the Engage. So let's see, what's the definition of a threat model? All right, so if we go to understand, click on threat model, there's a little definition right here, which I think this is probably it. And click that. A risk assessment that models organizational strengths and weaknesses. That is indeed the correct answer. Moving on to the MITRE DEFEND resource. It's a knowledge graph of cybersecurity countermeasures. D3FEND is still in beta, and it's funded by the Cybersecurity Directorate of the NSA. Oof. Stands for Detection, Denial, Disruption Framework, Empowering Network Defense. And at the time of this writing, there are 408 artifacts in the D3FEND matrix. See the below image. Look at this thing. This looks pretty gnarly. So there's the, what do we click on? So is there a decoy file option that they clicked on? Yeah, decoy. Okay. All right, so let's see. You click on it, it gives you a little ID number. Then you get the definition, how it works, considerations, examples. As you can see, you're provided with the information on what is the technique, how the technique works, things to think about when implementing the technique, and how to utilize the technique. So as with other resources on MITRE, you can filter based on the attack matrix. Since this resource is in beta and will change significantly in future releases, we won't spend that much time on D3FEND. The objective is to make you aware of it, and hopefully you will keep an eye out as it matures. So let's see. What is the first MITRE attack techniques listed in the attack lookup dropdown? Okay, so let's first click on D3FEND. Let's close this thing. Let's close this thing. So in the attack lookup dropdown, the first one is data obfuscation. So let me see if I can remember that. Data obfuscation. Okay, very good. And then in the D3FEND inferred relationships, what does the attack technique from the previous question produce? So if we click on that and D3FEND inferred relationships, so it produces outbound internet network traffic, I think. That's what it does, right? So outbound internet network traffic. Let's try that. All right, look at that. Got it. All right, so emulation plans. If these tools provided are not enough, under MITRE Ingenuity, we have CTID, the Adversarial Emulation Library, and the emulation plans. So CTID, and we'll just open this because you know we have to go use it in a quick minute, formed an organization called the Center of Threat Informed Defense. This organization consists of various companies and vendors from around the globe. Their objective is to conduct research on cyber threats and their TTPs and share this research to improve cyber defense for all. Some of the companies and vendors who are participants are ATT&CK, Verizon, look at that, Microsoft, Red Canary, and Splunk. Cool. Per the website, together we're participant organizations. We cultivate solutions for a safer world and advanced threat-informed defense with open source software, methods, and frameworks. By expanding upon the attack knowledge base, our work expands the global understanding of adversaries and their tradecraft with public release of data to better understand adversarial behavior and their movements. So the emulation library and the emulation plans. The library is a public library making adversary emulation plans a free resource for blue and red teamers. This library and the emulations are a contribution from CTID. There are several emulation plans currently available, APT3, 29, and FIN6. The emulation plans are a step-by-step guide on how to mimic the specific threat group. Oof, that sounds so exciting. If any of the C-suite were to ask, how would I fare if APT29 hits us? This can easily be answered by referring to the results of the execution of the emulation plan. Sounds good. In phase 1 for APT emulation, what's listed first? So we're going to do this as this thing. So phase 1, you got, and what do we have? Multiple answers. In phase 1 for APT3 emulation, what is the listed first? So this is the first listed thing, which is C2 setup. So you got to have a command and control server. Under persistence, what binary was replaced with CMD XE? So let's see where that would be. All right, so for this one, I think we actually have to open up the emulation plan, and let's see if we can search persistence in here. We can indeed. So it's on phase 2. So let's go to phase 2. Are we in phase 2? All right, so here we go. We found phase 2 here. And let's see what's been replaced. Or you know what? Maybe it might be a better way to search for cmd.exe. That might be it. And there's also several recommendations for that. So let's see. Okay. What's the response that we're looking for? We're looking for, it looks like an exe file. So under persistence, what binary was replaced with cmd.exe? I'm going to do one more search in the document for the word replaced. And there's 2 instances of that. I see. Okay, so it's actually not file. It is this thing right here. So we got the sticky keys binary, which is sethc.exe, was replaced with cmd.exe. So I'm going to copy this little thing right here. And that should be our answer. Voila. Very good. Now, examining APT29, what C2 frameworks are listed in Scenario 1 infrastructure? So let's go to APT29. We can close these two because I think we're moved on with that. Okay, Scenario 1 starts with a smash and grab, then rapid espionage mission that focuses on gathering and exfiltrating data. Before transitioning to stealthier techniques, it ends with the execution of previously established persistence mechanisms. Let's see, Scenario 1 infrastructure, what do we got? Okay, I see. So Puppy and the Metasploit framework are what we're using. So PUPY, right? Just one P, yeah. And then Metasploit framework are the answers. Metasploit, man, Metasploit shows up everywhere. I love that thing. What C2 framework is listed in Scenario 2's infrastructure? So let's go back, click on Scenario 2 infrastructure, and what frameworks do we got here? I'm going to say POSH C2. That could be the answer. That is the answer. So POSH C2 framework was listed as the Scenario 2 infrastructure. Now it says examine the emulation plan for Sandworm. What web shell is used for Scenario 1? Check the MITRE attack for the software ID. For the web shell, what is the ID? So web shell and the ID. Okay, so examine the emulation plan for Sandworm. Okay, so I was supposed to actually go to this link first, which is the GitHub for all the emulation plans. And then right here we got Sandworm. And under the emulation plan, let's see if we can find the scenario walkthrough. Okay, I believe the web shell name is P.A.S. So if we go to MITRE and try to search for this, let's see what we can find here. There we go. That's the web shell. And then that's the ID. So let's see. P.A.S. comma, enter. There you go. I was missing a dot. Okay, doing some nice research here. Moving on to the last section. So attack and threat intelligence. So threat intelligence or cyber threat intelligence is the information or TTPs attributed to the adversary. By using it as defenders, we can make better decisions regarding the defensive strategy. Large corporations might have an in-house team whose primary objective is to gather threat intelligence for other teams within the organization, aside from using threat intel already readily available. Some of this intel can be open source, OSINT, or through a subscription with a vendor such as CrowdStrike. In contrast, many defenders wear multiple hats within the organization as they need to take time from their other tasks and focus on intelligence. To cater to the latter, we'll work on a scenario of using attack for threat intelligence. The goal of threat intelligence is to make information actionable. So, scenario is this. You are a security analyst who works in the aviation sector. Your organization is moving their infrastructure to the cloud, and your goal is to use the attack matrix to gather threat intelligence on APT groups who might target this particular sector and use techniques targeting the areas of concern. You are checking to see if there are any gaps in coverage. After selecting a group, look over the selected group's information and their tactics, etc. So let's see, what is a group that targets your sector who has been in operation since at least 2013? So we are in what? We are in the aviation sector. So let's go to MITRE and search for aviation. Let's see what we can find. Let's load mode results. Can I see anything with 2013 in here? So maybe I can do like load them in different windows. So we're gonna load all of these ones in different windows and see what we can find here. And there's even more. So let's see. So which one was this? December 2020, doesn't seem like it. This was October 2018, doesn't seem like it. 2017, 2018, 2023, 2018, 2022, 2018. Okay, so none of these guys, I guess. Let's load more results here. Let's do, at least 2013. I just saw that phrase somewhere. So I'm gonna search for that, at least 2013. Okay, so this seems like it's the answer. Nope. So what is the group that targets your sector who has been in operation since at least 2013? And it's a one-word answer. And, oh, no, it is right. So Alquin? No, that's probably not it. There are several that have been at least 2013. So let's see. The next one is that the name? Yeah, the name is that. So this is APT33. That might be it. Let's see. That is it. Look at that. All right, so as your organization is migrating to the cloud, is there anything attributed to this APT group that you should focus on? If so, what is it? So we can close this. And so let's see. It's a suspected Iranian threat group that has carried out operations since at least 2013. They were targeted organizations across multiple industries with a particular interest in aviation and energy. Okay. So let's see. It says, is there anything, what's the question? Is there anything attributed to this APT group that you should focus on? If so, what is it? Okay, so that was it. There's a lot of stuff listed here. I did not enter each and every single one of these options. And what I tried to do, and this is kind of, it's like a little bit of a hack to hack the answers for tryhackme. They give you the format of the answer, right? So this one specifically is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's 5 characters, and so you can look for a shorter answer. This one had 2 words, and it had this many. So obviously, as I went through this entire thing, I'm not gonna click every single one, or I'm not gonna. And I mean, you can. You would probably learn more that way, but I'm a lazy hacker. Usually hackers are like that. So I was trying to find something that would fit the number of characters as well as the number of words. And I ended up, and I will tell you this, I went through this entire list. I didn't click on anything, but I did read through the entire list. And I found at the very bottom that it was these 2 right here. That could be the potential answers. And so we ended up with cloud accounts. So what tool is associated with the technique from the previous question? So what tool is associated with cloud accounts? It says Office 365 in tandem with Ruler in an attempt to gain control. So it's probably Ruler. There you go. And referring to the technique from question 2, which is this thing, cloud accounts, what mitigation methods suggest using SMS messages as an alternative for its implementation? So here, we're just going to click on this now and actually see what we can use for mitigation. And we're trying to look for something that uses SMS messages. So find SMS space messages, SMS. There should be 2 right here. Okay. So multi-factor authentication in a variety of forms, etc. So multi-factor authentication, I believe, is the answer. Multi-factor authentication. That is indeed the answer. Very good. And so what platform does this technique from question 2 affect? So cloud accounts, what platform does it actually affect? And let's see here. We have all the responses right here. So it's Azure AD, Google Workspaces, IaaS, Office 365. So how many of these do they actually want? So Azure AD, I think they want all of them. So we're going to do this whole thing, and we're going to copy that, and we're going to go here, paste it, and that is indeed the right answer. So that's how you find these answers. You got to get a little bit clever with it. Unless you want to, read through the whole thing, which you're more than welcome to. And I actually kind of recommend that you do, because you will definitely learn much better. But part of your job as a researcher, as an analyst, as an ethical hacker is to use all of the tools that are at your disposal, at your disposal to get the answer quickly, to come to the conclusion, obviously accurately, but you need to come to the conclusion quickly, because time is of the essence. If your organization is being attacked, you need to know where to go and how to look for things to get the answers that are relevant to your particular situation. So conclusion is that we explore tools like MITRE, or tools and resources that MITRE has provided to the community. This was actually one of the most useful out of all the frameworks studies that we've done so far, and out of all the frameworks that we've actually done. So this is actually really, really awesome. And I'm kind of happy that I went through it with you guys. So now you have access to all of this information as well. And as always, we got a congratulations message for completing this thing, and I'm definitely going to post it on LinkedIn. And this was our MITRE framework studies. So this was your boy Hank Hackerson at Hank Hacks Hackers, and this was one of the free rooms that is available at tryhackme. And definitely go ahead and get yourself a membership, because it's very, very valuable, as you can see, and you'll learn a lot. And then there's of course the paid version of the membership, which is at $12, and if you use the link in the bio, you'll get $5 off of that, so it'll even make it more affordable, and you get access to all of the virtual machines and all of the attack boxes and all of the advanced exercises, and all of this stuff would just be super useful to you. So definitely go ahead and do that for yourself. And at the very least, subscribe, like, share, comment, turn on the notification bell so that you get notified the next time we drop something, especially in the SOC level 1 framework, because that's what we're actually working on right now. So I'll give you a preview of what's going to be next. So we just finished doing the frameworks, which is the MITRE framework right now. And then the next thing we're going to be doing is cyber threat intelligence, and the tools that are associated with that, and all of these other modules that comes with SOC level 1, the Cyber Security Operations Center, and junior analyst and security analyst positions. So that is all I got for you guys today. Hopefully you learned a lot and you enjoyed yourself. I definitely did. And so I will see you in the next video. Peace.